Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. The title of our today's video is How to Add Bolo Form Responses in Microsoft Excel. So the objective of our today's video is that as soon as a new form is submitted in Bolo Forms, automatically the details of that form should be added as a new row in Microsoft Excel. For this, we are going to create a connection between Bolo Forms and Microsoft Excel. To create this connection without knowing any programming or coding skills, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So in Pabbly, we have the concept of trigger in action. For trigger, we are going to use Bolo Forms, and for action, we are using Microsoft Excel. So if you also wish to learn this process step by step, follow me through the screen.
Welcome to my screen. So as you know, in this video we are going to learn how to add Bolo form responses in Microsoft Excel. For this we are going to create a connection between Bolo Forms and Microsoft Excel. To create this connection, I have already opened the landing page of Pabbly. You can also open it simply by searching pabbly.com/connect in your browser. It is so easy. So as soon as you will open the landing page of Pabbly, you will get two options. One is sign up for free and the another one is sign in. So if you are a new user, you can click on sign up for free and you will get 100 of tasks free every month. But I am an existing user, so I am going to click on sign in. And now it is opening all Pabbly apps. Over here you can see all the tools and applications offered by Pabbly. But in today's video we are going to use Pabbly Connect because we are connecting two applications, which is Bolo Forms and Microsoft Excel. So I'm going to click on Access now. And now it is opening my dashboard, and to start with the automation we are going to click on this button right over here which says Create Workflow. And now it is asking me the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So I want to save the workflow in this folder which says automations, and I want to name my workflow as how to add Bolo Forms responses in Microsoft Excel. And then we are going to click on create. And now it is opening the most important window of our automation, that is our workflow window. This is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. Trigger means when this happens and action means do this. By this you can understand that the trigger is the commander for the workflow and actions follow the command. And as you know that we can have only a single commander but multiple followers. So over here we can have only a single trigger but multiple actions following the commands of our trigger. So now we are going to select our trigger application, which is Bolo Forms, because I want that as soon as a new form is submitted in Bolo Forms, automatically my workflow should be triggered. So I'm going to search for Bolo Forms and select Bolo Forms. And now for the trigger event, we are going to select New Form Response. And then we are going to click on Connect. And as you can see that it is asking me to add a new connection or select the existing connection. So if you have already connected your Bolo Forms account with your Pabbly's workflow, you can click on select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me. Click on add a new connection and then it will ask you for an API key. So to get this API key, I'm going to open my Bolo Forms account. As you can see that I've already logged in my account. It is always advised to log in your account before starting with your automation. And now we are going on for the settings and then integrations. And over here you can see Pabbly. So I'll click on setup. And then I'm going to copy the API key to access my account. So I'll just copy this and paste it in my workflow. After pasting this, I'm going to click on save. And yes, you can see that we have successfully connected our Bolo Forms account with our Pabbly's workflow. And now it is asking me the form ID. So for this, I'm going to use this form which says connect. So the form ID would be connect only. And now I'm going to click on save and send test request. And yes, you can see that it is saying do a test submission or record. So we are going to do a test submission because Pabbly is waiting for a response. So I'm going to open my Bolo Forms again. And as you know, I'm using this form, so I'm going to click on preview link. And we are going to do a test submission. So for the email, I'm going to enter demo@pabblytuts.com. For the first name, we are going to enter demo. For the last name, we are going to use user. And for the mobile number, we are going to enter this. So after entering all the details, I'm going to click on submit. And yes, you can see that it is saying your response has been recorded. This means that Bolo Form has sent our responses to our workflow. So I'm going to open my workflow and I'll check that if Pabbly has captured the response or not. And yes, you can see that Pabbly has captured the response. Here's the first name, the last name, mobile number and also the email. So this means that our trigger step is successful. And now we are moving on to our action step. So for our action application, we are going to select Microsoft Excel because I want that as soon as a new form is submitted, all the details of that form should be captured in my Microsoft Excel also. So I'm going to search for it and select it. And then for the action event, I am going to select Add Row to Worksheet. And then we are going to click on Connect. And as you can see that again it is asking me to add a new connection or select the existing connection. So if you have already connected your Microsoft Excel account with your Pabbly's workflow, you can click on select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me. Click on add a new connection and then connect with Microsoft Excel. And then it will ask you for some permissions. So I'm going to click on accept because I know that Pabbly is secure and my details are safe with Pabbly. You can also click on accept. And yes, you can see that we have successfully connected our Microsoft Excel account with our Pabbly's workflow. And now it is asking me the workbook name and the worksheet name. So for this, I'm going to open my Microsoft Excel. And over here, you can see the name of my workbook is Bolo Form Responses and the name of my sheet is New Responses. So I'm going back to my workflow. And for the workbook, I'm going to select Bolo Form Responses. And then for the worksheet, I'm going to select New Responses. And then we are going to move on forward and we are going to map the first name, last name, email and the phone number. So mapping is a method by Pabbly which means inserting the data from the previous step. And as you know, our previous step was the trigger step where we selected Bolo Form as our trigger application. So we are going to map the details from the response of our trigger application which is Bolo Forms. So I'm going to open my response and over here you can see the first name. So I'm going to map this. We'll do same for the last name too. And then for the email, and then for the phone number. So now after mapping all these details have become dynamic and these details will change with every new form submitted. And now my workflow is ready to run in real time because I mapped these details. So after mapping these details, I'm going to click on save and send test request. And yes, you can see that we have received a positive response that our details have been added to our Microsoft Excel. So I'm going to open my Excel and check that if the details have been added or not. And yes, you can see first name demo, last name user, email demo@pabblytudes.com and the dummy phone number has been added to our Microsoft Excel too. This means that our workflow is successful. So I'll just test the workflow once again and this time I'm going to give you a real-time example. So we are going to open up Bolo form and we are going to submit another response. So we are going to check that as soon as we submit another response, is Pabbly capturing the response and adding the details to Microsoft Excel or not. So I'm going to enter the email as test@pabblytudes.com, first name as test, last name as user. And for the phone number, I'm using this as my dummy phone number. So after entering all the details, again we are going to click on submit. And yes, you can see your response has been recorded. This means that Bolo Forms has sent our response to our workflow. Pabbly triggered the workflow and further added the details in our Microsoft Excel too. So I'm going to directly open my Microsoft account and check that if the details have been added or not. This time we are not going back to our workflow and clicking on save and send test request. We'll directly open our Microsoft Excel. And yes, you can see first name test, last name user, email test@pabblytudes.com and the dummy phone number has been added to our Excel too. This means that our workflow and our automation is successful. So I'll just summarize the workflow for you once. For a trigger application, we selected Bolo Forms. For a trigger event, we selected New Form Responses. We connected our Bolo Forms account with our Pabbly's workflow. We selected our form ID and then we clicked on Save and Send Test Request. Pabbly said waiting for a response. So we generated a dummy response for Pabbly to capture. And then we moved on to our action step. For our action application, we selected Microsoft Excel. For our action event, we selected Add Row to Worksheet. We connected our Microsoft Excel account with our Pabbly's workflow. We selected the workbook name and then the drive ID. After that, we selected the worksheet name. We mapped the details of the first name, last name, email and phone number. We mapped these details because we wanted these details to turn dynamic. And then again, we clicked on Save and Send Test Request. And over here, you can see the 2 responses we received during this video. So if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. And for your reference, I'll just clone the workflow and share the workflow link in the description box. Thank you for watching.
Not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly, you can integrate many more applications. So now, if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this website. And if you find our videos helpful, do like and subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching.